UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Transporter Chief, beam our listeners aboard. Welcome to Galaxy Class, a Star Trek Next Generation podcast on the United Federation of Podcasts Network. I am your Chief Recreational Officer, Rhea Papagiorgio, joined today by our counselor, Amy Nelson, and head of his petite maison, Joe Keegan. How are you guys doing today?
Oui.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. So,
Je ne parle pas français.
listeners will be very excited to know that I have moved into my new house. You and I bought a house, and we've been spent the last week moving in. So it's been very nice just to. Is that now that way when you buy something new and you want to play with it for a while? Mm-hmm. Like when you get a new car, you want to sit in it and figure out all the controls. Or when you get a new phone, you want to just figure it out. With a house, it's completely different. It's like a big space with lots of room and lots of volume, and it's just every time you look around the corner, there's something new to see. So, very excited about that.
And it's fun deciding where your things will go, like what's going to be most efficient or what's going to look the best here. So that's always the fun part.
Interestingly, I'm very organized. So in our old house, I would know exactly where everything was. Right. So if you had said, "Where is a pair of scissors?" I would be like, "Over there in that second drawer down, like in a behind the pencils." That's the way my brain works. But Ewan has been off for this whole week, so he's been left home organising all our stuff while I've been at work. So I'm like, I got up in the morning, I was like, "Where is underwear?" Where I need socks. I also would like shoes and a belt and some trousers and a shirt. Where's my jacket and my house keys? It's like, because everything's in random places and I don't know how to operate. It's like my system isn't working. So,
right.
Come the Christmas holidays, I've got 7 working days left. I will be on it. I will learn this house. It'll be like part of me. Part of my DNA. So
7 more days?
Yes, we've got all next week, and then we finish up on the 22nd.
Oh, I have 5 more days.
Ugh. There's been many petitions and
the last
letters.
3 days, Friday, Thursday, and Wednesday, those are just half days.
Ugh, that's ridiculous. Yeah. 5 full days, full day Monday, is it the 21st?
Yes.
Yeah, 3/4 of a day, Tuesday 22nd. I think we finish at 2:30 as opposed to 10 to 4. There's been many petitions to government because the problem is they don't want kids up to the very end, and then there's a potential of school staff having to be in on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day if they do have to do the track and trace thing. So say they identify a positive case in a classroom on the Tuesday, then they've got a few days to alert everybody that was around that one pupil that they have to self-isolate for the next 10 days, 2 weeks. So I would quite like to finish. I would quite like to be finished, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's been tough, but it is what it is.
Wow, it makes my head hurt.
Yeah.
Well, I have 12 days, and then I actually get 2 days off. So
2 whole full days.
I know. We just found out about getting Christmas Eve off yesterday, which is a surprise. So I'm pretty excited.
Oh, 2 full days off is like a weekend for most people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm taking more than that, though. I'm taking a full week and going to go home and eat. My dad will feed me and pump me full of wine, and I'm not complaining.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it will be nice. And of course, I'll have to fix their Amazon, their Echo Dot thing and make sure it's working. And
every visit home.
Yes. The last time I went home for American Thanksgiving, and my parents' TV downstairs, their cable company is terrible. And they have some issues with their line that the cable company just won't fix. But they had come like 6 weeks prior to my visit and gave them a new box or something. But the guy disconnected everything from their TV downstairs and wouldn't reconnect it. And my dad was right there, and he said, please reconnect all this stuff. And the guy's like, not my job, and he left. So, of course, both of my parents gave their feedback, called up Mediacom and gave their feedback. But when I got there, it was just cables everywhere, unattached. And
that's just rude.
Yeah. Let's check the communications array to see if we have any comments from our listeners.
Logs accessed.
So we have a message from the Federation Council Chambers from our listener, Michael Bentley, who I like. Historically, I've always liked Michael's comments. They've always been quite thoughtful and, do you know what, quite smart, because he's an intelligent guy, or so I thought. However, I don't know why Rhea has given me this comment to read out. Michael writes, this was in relation to episode 17, which was our Deanna Troy profile, the second part, because, as you know, Amy Nelson had quite a lot to say. So the comment goes, cat emoji, winky smiley, cat emoji, winky smiley, cat emoji, followed by a picture of the TNG bridge crew as cats. And that's the comment. I don't like cats. Rhea dislikes all animals.
I love the cats. Joe, do you remember when we, as an Earl Grey team, and I say we...
Oh, you said it. That's like saying Voldemort.
But the author of the Cats TNG book wrote to Earl Grey and asked if we would promote the book on our show. And so I wrote back and said, well, yeah, if you send me a copy of the book, I'd be happy to promote it. So I got a free book out of it. So I gave him a plug, I think 2 weeks. So.
Cool.
Yeah. And I got a free book out of it. Yeah.
Now they get a plug on Galaxy Class. Star Trek Cats, book about cats written by Jenny Parks. Available on Amazon and wherever you buy your books.
And we would like to reach out to the author of the book about parks by Jenny Katz.
There you go. And the book about Jenny by Katz Parks.
We could keep on going, but we're not, because it'll make me laugh.
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
Well, dear listeners, today we will be continuing our Batleth Battles series. As you well know, because you've been following closely every episode of Galaxy Class, we have had 5 Batleth battles so far, say that 5 times fast, where we have, Kevin Scharf has randomly put all of the episodes and movies of The Next Generation into a bracket thing that's come up with these tournaments. So it's a totally random matchup of, who's beaten who. So we are today actually doing round 6, which is perfect because our 6th Batleth battle pitches 2 season 6 episodes against each other.
Rhea, I must object to this. Yes. Kevin Scharf is our host for the Batleth battles. I object. I am not a merry man.
You're never a merry man, Joe.
Well, I'm very merry. I'm the merriest of all.
Well, I'm a merry elf today because Kevin Scharf is a merry Santa Claus out bringing joy to the people of Ontario, Canada. So, Joe,
true.
Objection.
And Kevin,
was it sustained?
No.
What's the word for ignored?
Ignored.
Overruled.
Objection overruled.
Objection overruled.
Okay, I agree with that. Objection overruled. Thank you. No, Kevin looks amazing. Shout out to our other host as Santa Claus. I feel like a kid.
He's the
seeing
real
his pictures.
deal. I know. And
Yes,
he
the real deal.
Pictures. It's like that's seriously Santa Claus.
That's next level. That's him. He's this. What's the term I'm looking for? He's going commitment. Yeah, he's going like way beyond just for a weekend job essentially.
It's a real beard. And he dyed his beard white.
Yeah,
and
that's why I'm like
and
the
eyebrows.
commitment, because he colored his beard and eyebrows.
Yes.
And it looks like he looks like Santa Claus now.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks amazing.
Hollywood, if you're listening, Kevin Scharf, Santa Claus.
There you go.
Elf 5, go for it.
Well, I could never fill Santa Claus's shoes, but again, Joe, objection overruled. Santa's merry frickin' elf is filling in today for Batleth Battle number 6. And as we were saying before we were so rudely interrupted, our 6th Batleth battle is between Season 6 episode Man of the People and Season 6 episode Frame of Mind, which is super cool because not only are they both Season 6, but one of them is a Troy tour de force and the other a Riker tour de force. We need Kevin to say those French words. So, Man of the People, Amy, would you mind giving us a summary of that episode?
Well, we have a negotiator who comes on board with his, quote, mother, and he is there to negotiate between two warring factions on this planet. And the, quote, mother dies. There is a little bit of a love interest between Troy and Alcar. And when the mother dies, Alcar has this way to harness his negative feelings and put it into a vessel. And that vessel now is Troy. And so Troy has all of the negative emotions that Alcar doesn't want so that he can be clear-minded and focused. And it's for the good of the people, right? And then Deanna starts going crazy, acting very non-Troy-like. And then with Beverly's help, figure out that, she's got high neurons or something in her head because she's getting these extra emotions. And they decide to kill her. Just long enough, mind you, so that Alcar gets those emotions back, breaks that tie, and then he gets all of his flood of emotions, and he dies, and we save Deanna.
Perfect. So you'll notice guest stars-wise, we have a lot of one-timers. We've got actually an Ensign Janeway, played by Lucy Boyer, but no relation to Catherine Janeway. Susan French plays Sev Mailer, the mom. Stephanie Erlo plays Leva. She actually also appeared in an episode of Enterprise. And then we have J.P. Hubble, who was perhaps my favorite character as the ensign in the turbo lift. Of course, we have Patty Yasutake as Nurse Ogawa, and George D. Wallace, who played Vice Admiral Simons. Chip Lucia, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. He played Alcar. He also was in Voyager and Enterprise as a guest character in each.
Oh, interesting.
So again, guest stars wise, not a lot of familiar faces there.
Chip Lucia, he's right on the verge of creepy, but yet nice. Mm-hmm. He's got that look that can go either way because he is fairly attractive, but then he's got a creep quality about him.
Oh, not nearly as creepy as the Betazoid, the half Betazoid that Troy falls for. What was that episode?
Oh yeah, and the price, the one of the bars and wormhole. The negotiator guy.
Yeah.
No, there's a difference. Mm-hmm. The guy from the price is way too slick. Mm-hmm. I think it's his creepiness is directly proportional to the amount of hair gel that he has. With Alcar's more. Amy, you're right. There's he's a good-looking guy, but there's a dominance about him, which could be attractive, but could equally be unattractive. Mm-hmm. It could be kind of threatening, and he knows how to play on that.
Yeah. And the Price guy, boy, I can't think of his name because I can't stand him. He's clearly in it for himself. But Alcar, I think he actually believes that he's doing something benevolent.
Yeah.
But when he treats human beings, I mean, anytime this episode got me thinking, anytime you slap a label on a person, like receptacle, or, X political party that I don't like, or, anytime you put a label on someone and then treat them as not human or not a person in this case.
It's a slippery slope. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just became receptacles that Alcar felt free to use, for his convenience, but it was for the greater good.
Yeah.
So.
I suppose it's that Star Trek argument: the good of the many outweighs the good of the one, isn't it? So, is it okay to use one human to offload all your negative emotions, so that you can get a peace deal that will save thousands or millions?
If the end justifies the means.
I know I'm not qualified to answer that one.
Yeah.
But it's Deanna Troi, so I'm like, no, it's not okay.
That's right.
Yeah. It's funny because this episode sort of reminds me of Sarek, just in the way of those negative emotions. You know how when Sarek had the old timers syndrome?
Mm-hmm. That's the Vulcan term, maybe.
That's the exact name. And so his negative emotions were affecting everyone ship-wide, and so here we have Alcar where he can direct it and like funnel it, channel it into one person. Now, of course, with Sarek, he couldn't control it. Alcar is controlling it. Alcar's doing it purposefully, but I don't know, whenever I think of Man of the People, it just haunts me a little bit like Sarek haunts me.
And what I thought was interesting upon my multiple rewatches recently is, so Alcar is specifically channeling his negative emotions into Troi, and Troi is acting out as a result. But what we see her doing, she becomes overly sexualized, which I think is interesting, because if you think of love, as in agape love, the true, actual love, that's a positive emotion. But what Alcar seems to be channeling into her is lust and sexual domination. I mean, when she, scratches Riker the way she did, that's kind of the negative, what's the way? I don't know, that kind of deviant sexual domination where you're using a person for your own sexual pleasure versus sex as an expression of love and mutual respect and bonding and all of that. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if they were trying to make a point with that.
That is a really good point, yeah.
What was the term you used there for love?
Agape.
Is that a Greek term?
It is.
Oh. Can you enlighten us?
Agape is like an unconditional love, a love that's expressed in a way where you seek the good of the beloved. It's not a love for you, but where you would do anything, for a person. It goes like beyond friendship. Actually, I would say it's kind of the Imzadi, maybe.
Yeah.
Without a sexual component per se, but we see in this episode and in Frame of Mind the intimacy between Troi and Riker. Mm-hmm. So a love where you would set aside your own needs for the needs of the beloved, which is not what Alcar is doing.
I think when you say you struggle to identify the kind of love that Troi was demonstrating, I don't think that's love.
No.
By any definition. I think if it was to be one of the deadly sins, it would just be pure lust. Mm-hmm. She's just acting out all these desires and feelings which aren't particularly positive. And there's the really striking part where Riker goes to her quarters to finish the crew evaluations, and she's in this, I don't know, really, is it satin kind of negligee kind of idea? I don't know all the lady terms. Are you allowed to say that anymore? Gay guy will not get all the terms right. So, but like she's very on display. Mm-hmm. Even that without going into too much detail, but the kind of the super buff ensign lieutenant guy that leaves kind of it's a tiny detail, but he takes his shoes with him.
Yeah.
Which is, it tells you everything about what went on.
Exactly.
So
She gave him a
it's just
You know,
sure, Rhea.
And it's interesting because those feelings that we see Troy acting out, we need to remember those are Alcar's feelings.
Yeah.
Like how twisted and perverted is he to be wanting all of that? Like, again, it's just a reflection of Alcar.
Yeah.
It's not
that's true.
Deanna at all.
I mean, that's another thing that struck me, is she was publicly humiliated in front of her entire crew during this episode. I mean, over and over, the scene in 10 Forward and then the scene in the transporter room. Although I laugh every time. I do love the turbo lift scene with the young boy, just the way she looks at him and the way there's no way that he can resist. But again, it's not even lust there, because it's not like, I mean, I know it's Alcar acting through her, but it's not like she had particular lustful feelings towards this boy, but he was the one that was there present. And Alcar was, again, I see it, I guess, as the need to kind of sexually dominate, to use someone to please your own desires. I do love what she said to him before he left her quarters about, well, if I need anything, I know where to go. Teenage boys.
That boy was not a teenager. He was like a proper man type.
Well, a young man.
But definitely younger.
Yeah, fresh meat.
I think the three of us would not say no, if we're being honest.
I don't know. I'd let him paint my toenails, I guess, but
That's a euphemism if ever I've heard one.
no, I meant literally. They could really use it.
Okay.
The old polish needs to come off. It's been there for like 2 months, but
Sure.
lockdown, who sees my toes? But no, another reason I think of sexual domination here is the scene where Alcar, with the crystal thing, and he links up with Troy. To me, that comes across as a total rape scene for a number of reasons, one of which being Alcar's relief afterwards, or his sense of, how to put it delicately, he's got that relief as though he had just finished off a sexual activity. In the meantime, Troy is one of pain, and I mean, she basically received something into her body that she did not want or ask for or know that was coming. It was forced into her. So yeah, I think Alcar has some kind of twisted domination things going on. But when you treat people like property, things to be used and disposed of, which in his scene with Picard, it's just chilling the way he talks about his receptacles.
Now, how was it that Beverly was able to perform the autopsy?
She convinced Picard it was that the safety of the ship was at stake. In this case, Troy's life.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily.
Yeah.
Lucky for Troy. That was interesting, too. I liked the whole kind of mystery of Dr. Crusher and Geordi, kind of piecing together the puzzle and figuring out what happened. Let's see here. So, importance to the Star Trek canon. What do you guys see here?
Struggling. It doesn't have a lasting impact. Apart from us talking about it now, and people around the world will rewatch it at some point. I don't think there's anything that has any particular longevity.
Yeah, because the two warring factions, we never hear of them again, or the planet, or, so those aliens were inconsequential.
The Janeway was a different Janeway, and as far as we know, not related. I did like Troy's advice, though. The only couple things that I saw were the Imzadi relationship between Riker and Troy. Again, we see more just the intimacy that they have, which is so sweet. And then when Troy wakes up after she's brought back from the dead, the way she says "will" is exactly how the Ilea unit says "will" in the motion picture.
Oh.
When she kind of first has the spark of memories. And as many of us already know, the characters of Troy and Riker were modeled after Ilea and Decker. After Star Trek Phase 2 never came to fruition. So that's really the only thing I saw canon-wise.
But you could say that about any episode of TNG, couldn't you? Well, I suppose with the exception of she says "will" in the same way as Ilea says "will."
Yeah, that was, she said it exactly like that. If they had used the transporter to de-age Troy, then we'd have a little more canon connection. But yeah. So what other thoughts do you guys have on Man of the People?
Yeah, I think you said it right. Like Riker and Troy's relationship just sort of throughout the episode, showing their consistency of friendship and support and love for each other. You definitely see that. I think it's a very interesting story, and Alcar is definitely one that we can talk about. And we got to see them in Worf's, what are they doing?
Mokbara?
Yeah, Mokbara.
Mokbara, yeah, or Mokbara, however you say it.
Yeah, and there is something in that scene that bugs me because, as they're wrapping up class and Troy's complimenting Alcar on his, mind, body, whatever. But like as they're doing that final exercise, they're kind of squatting down and bringing their arms up. And first of all, Akbar's back is bent. He's not vertical. His shoulders aren't over his hips and his knees are turned in instead of So no, he was not performing those exercises correctly, Troy. I don't know what you were looking at, but it wasn't his form.
Do you know what I thought that what struck me, having watched it, because you have to kind of be a bit more analytical when you're watching Star Trek in order to podcast about it. When they leave, they just throw their towels away. They just literally dump, they wipe down, and then they just kind of throw the towels away.
Did they throw them on the ground, or was there a bin?
Yeah, or on there was a bench. There wasn't even a bin. It was, I think one went on the bench, one went on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it seemed a bit disrespectful if I'm assuming that some person had to come around and clean that up.
Well, otherwise, what would Ensign, Mariner, and Tendi do?
Lower decks.
I know, but
yep.
Yeah, it seemed a bit. It's like that argument for people that throw like kind of fast food trash out their car window.
Yeah,
it's like the argument for that is there's people that's keeping people in jobs whose job it is to clean up that rubbish. I'm like, that's not an argument.
Mm-mm.
It's not cool in the slightest.
No.
So,
yeah. My students try to tell me that line. But I'm helping so the custodians have a job. I'm like, wrong. This is my classroom and you're going to pick up after yourself. Period.
Oh, don't even get me started on my soapbox there.
Of course, I haven't had to do that all year because I don't have any students. But it's for the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I hope they're picking up after themselves at home. Alrighty, so moving on to Frame of Mind, which was Season 6, Episode 21. I neglected to say that Man of the People was Season 6, Episode 3. Frame of Mind, you want to give us a recap, Joe?
Yeah, so this is Season 6, Episode 21. And do you know what? For the longest time, every time I see this episode, I think my brain does something to me where I don't understand it to the point of not watching it to the very end. So every time I've seen it, I'm like, I've no clue what happens in that episode. I literally don't understand a thing. But today, I purposefully set out to watch it to the very end. And I get it now. It kind of makes sense. Although all the bits in the middle, I still don't entirely know what's going on because it's designed to keep you thinking about what the hell is happening. Is Riker on the planet being captured, or is it all in his mind? Is he going a bit nuts? I don't really know. So Riker is rehearsing a psychological thriller play with Beverly Crusher as the director. He's got there's this mindset that he has where he's some patient in a psychiatric unit. But then it turns out he's also got this mission to go on and outside of the play where he has to infiltrate a planet and figure some stuff out. But it turns out that he's either going crazy because he's been in the play, or he's been captured as he's completed his mission on the planet. And it's, Rhea, you mentioned this was a tour de force for Riker. Yes, but it's also a tour de force in terms of kind of psychological thriller. Mm-hmm. You literally don't know what's going on until the very, 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 very end when Picard finally explains what went on. So yeah, it just keeps you guessing throughout. I can't really explain it because you have to watch it to understand. it's just one of those things. You don't really know what's happening until the very end. Is it Riker being stuck in his head because this play is just having an adverse effect, and the fact that he's nervous about going on this mission, or is it he's been captured on the mission and he's been tortured in some way, and he's using the aspects of the play and everything that he was doing on the ship to kind of get him through it, and you find out to the very end.
So, question for you.
Yeah.
When at the very beginning and they're being briefed on what Riker's job is, his away mission, and Worf accidentally cuts him on the forehead. Did that really happen? Because the cut shows up but then doesn't, and that's sort of the giveaway that it's like, oh, is this reality or is this not?
I think that does happen, and that's why he uses it to anchor himself to reality.
So
it's that thing that keeps, Okay. I think Worf is kind of on that side of his face, isn't it? It's right down there because he keeps on touching himself on the temple. I think that's the thing that did happen that helped his brain protect itself from the kind of that torture that they're trying to do to extract his long-term memories.
Yeah, because that's where the probe was. And so that's why I thought his brain was imagining getting cut by Worf, because that's where the probe was.
Yeah, that's how I see it. That's where the probe was. And so Riker's actual physical body in reality was feeling, some kind of pain there, some kind of cut there. But, the whole Worf nicking him was just like a way to kind of reconcile that, why he was feeling that pain there. And was there something else that happened that nicked him? Well, the doctor said that he had hit his head while fighting a guard. I think his subconscious was trying to find an explanation for that pain that his body was actually feeling in reality.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
That never occurred to me that Worf didn't cut him. It was just the same location on his face that the alien probe was. So it was like he'd always, from the very beginning of the episode, he'd always been on the planet, lying on that table, connected to the machine.
Yeah.
Oh, now I see. That's why it's so confusing.
Yeah.
It could be any or none of them.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Could be something we've not thought about.
He could have just repeatedly kept getting hit in that same spot, which coincidentally was the same place that they had the probe. Who knows? I mean, maybe we're all still in his dream right now. Or maybe not.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Why am I bleeding?
Now we're getting into Beyond the Farthest Star territory, which listeners, if you haven't listened to All Good Things with Amy and Patrick, the most recent episode was on my probably all-time favorite episode of any TV series of all time. So.
Wow. Yeah.
So listen to that, folks.
It's a good episode.
But back to Galaxy Class.
Yeah.
Frame of Mind had some interesting guest stars here.
Oh, can I? We have to mention Susanna Thompson.
Well, we were going to, Mr. Spoiler Alert.
Sorry, it's just the biggest one. Ewan said, "Is that Susanna Thompson?" And she said something. And I was like, "Oh, that's the Borg Queen from Voyager."
Yeah.
It's just her voice is so distinctive that you just recognise it. Who does she play again?
Yaya, one of the,
Nurses?
not Telosians. What's it? Telonians. She plays the one in the insane asylum that thinks that she's a Starfleet officer.
That tries to get beamed up by a fork.
Yeah, or a spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A piece of cutlery.
Yep. So I was going to get to her, Joe. I was going to start with the two one-timers. Alan Dean Moore plays the engineer that was burned in sickbay, and Gary Wentz plays Mavik, who is that Telonian guard, who I thought was awesome. He was so big and just goofy.
Yes.
I loved him.
I like the juxtaposition of that big burly guard and the smaller guy.
Yeah.
There's something really stereotypically kind of psychological thriller about that. Just having a wee kind of, I don't know, a wee weaselly type of guard and a big just brute guard as well.
And he was just funny. Andrew Prine played Suna, one of the Telonians. I keep wanting to say Telosians. And he also played a Cardassian in Deep Space Nine. David Selberg, who played Dr. Cyrus, the Telonian, He also was in Voyager, in Caretaker, and then he was in Enterprise as a Vulcan in Carbon Creek. And yes, last but not least, Susanna Thompson. And I did not recognize her in this as Yaya. So she played a Telonian in this episode. In the next phase, she played the Romulan Vasil or Varel. I can't read my handwriting. In Deep Space Nine, she played the Trill Lenara Khan in Rejoined. She was amazing. And in Voyager, of course, she played the Borg Queen. So she's had 4 different characters in 3 different series spanning 7 episodes. But no, I didn't recognize her.
I didn't recognise David Selberg either. He also played Waylon from The Big Goodbye.
Oh, yes, he did. That was in my notes, and I couldn't read it because my handwriting's terrible. Yes.
He's the one that joins Captain Picard on the holodeck for one of his first adventures into the novels.
Dixon Hill.
Thanks so much. Dixon Hill novels. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have some pretty cool guest stars in this.
Yes. I would agree with that for sure.
Am I the only one that didn't recognize Susanna Thompson?
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't recognize her initially, but when Ewan said, "Is that Susanna Thompson?" her voice jumped out at me as being the Borg Queen.
Cool.
And this episode does have a 47 reference.
Yes.
Because Riker is held in Ward 47.
Oh, interesting.
Cool.
Can I just mention something about the way this was filmed, which was really interesting? There's a few points where they're rehearsing the play, or what you think might be the play, or which is the 10 forward set, and the camera is Data and Riker, or it's Riker and Cyrus, and the camera does this thing where it kind of pans towards them, but tilts as if to give a skewed perspective. And it's something you don't see really ever again in TNG, which it plays with your visual centers, it plays with your mind, and it feels like, oh, this isn't right. There's something's not right about the reality that I'm watching.
It's off kilter.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. There was another point where Riker's in sickbay and he's getting his wound treated after Worf supposedly cuts him with the blade. And I thought, is there something about the fact that Dr. Crusher looks like she's been filmed in soft focus?
Oh, yes.
Like everything about her features. Yeah, everything about her features is really, really soft. Like they've rubbed many layers of Vaseline on the lens. But when it goes to him, he's like every detail about him is really crisp. So I'm not sure if there was something in that, or if that was just something they just did with Gates McFadden.
I'll have to take another look at that because I didn't notice either one. But that is something they did in the original series a lot, both the soft focus on the women, and I'm thinking the episode Wink of an Eye, or Blink of an Eye, Wink of an Eye, where the Scalosians, anytime they're in that accelerated time frame, they've got the tilted camera. But I didn't even notice it in this episode.
I think Wink of an Eye is a TOS episode and Blink of an Eye is a Voyager episode.
Yes. I forget which title goes with which. Kind of like Beyond the Farthest Star and Far Beyond the Stars. Yeah. One of them is DS9, one of them's the animated series. And even though one of them is my all-time favorite episode, I forget which title goes with which. So
similar.
Oopsie doodles.
Yeah. It's sort of like the Nakeds. Naked Now, Naked Time. I can't remember.
That one I can actually keep straight.
Which one's TNG?
Naked Now. Because it's new. Now, new.
Oh.
Naked Time was in a previous time.
Got it. Okay.
Where no man has gone before and where no one has gone before.
Well, that one's easy too.
But yeah.
It's in the opening credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, solving all the world's problems here on Galaxy Class. So back to Frame of Mind. Do you guys see any canon tie-ins here?
No, I have to say there's literally nothing. Like Man of the People, there's nothing that continues on, makes any change. There's the one thing that kind of made me laugh slightly. At the very end, where Riker's getting debriefed about his ordeals, Picard says, "We can talk more about it in the morning." And then my brain added in the line, "But we won't talk about it in the next episode."
Yeah. Yeah, the joys of episodic TV.
Which I love,
I
because you
do.
can watch an episode and get this compartmentalized kind of story, and it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's so easy to watch.
Yeah.
And I think that's why partially I sometimes struggle with New Trek, because it's not episodic in the slightest, and you have to be in it for the long haul.
Yep.
Yes, it's very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Discovery Season 3 is doing a better job, and I'm using finger quotes because that's just my opinion, but making the serialization more episodic. Kind of like Deep Space Nine did in its latter seasons, which I really liked.
Interestingly, Ewan and I think that Season 3 of Discovery is less episodic. We're kind of hoping that something's going to happen.
I think each
come on.
episode has a definite beginning, middle, and end, while at the same time moving the overall arc of the season. But you're getting complete stories within each, I think.
Okay.
Versus like Season 1 where you really didn't know where one episode ended
Right.
and the other began.
Yeah, that was serious serialization.
But you did get a lot of Shazad Latif. Whew. Yes. So back to Galaxy Class. Yeah, we never hear about the Telonians again.
Yeah.
Although I kind of wonder, they're on Telonis 4, and every time I want to say Telonians, I want to say Telosian, and I think maybe Talos 4. I don't know if they kind of borrowed that name. But this is the second time that we see Riker go undercover on an alien planet, and for that to go awry.
Oh, yeah.
It's the episode called First
It's
Contact.
First Contact.
Yep.
Yep.
And then it's also the second time that we see Riker in a simulation of a simulation, trying to figure out what's reality and what's, is he really married to Minuet? And of course, I can't think of that episode title either.
It's 11001001. Oh, no, it's not.
No,
That's the
it's
first
the
time you
one
see
with
Minuet.
the kid that's
The-
the alien.
Yeah.
The alien.
Yeah.
I should have written
What is
that
that
down.
called?
That's funny because, Rhea, when you said that, with that description, I instantly went to Matter of Perspective, where you said Riker's trying to figure things out. Remember that one? Where he was accused of killing,
Oh, yeah.
and they showed through the holodeck the different perspectives of the wife, of the
right.
guard, or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that one. The other one was Future Imperfect.
Yeah.
That's the one where
Oh, of course it was.
the boy and the
But-
fake Romulans. And,
Yes.
We don't deserve to be podcasting about TNG. We know
I
nothing.
know. Gonna get fired. And okay, so here's another thing I couldn't remember. Was there another episode of TNG that had in the scene where Riker is, in the Telonian loony bin and the doctor is like getting him to talk, and anyway, different characters like Picard and Troy and Worf are expressing different facets of Riker's personality. Did that happen anywhere else in TNG? Because it rings a bell somehow, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what you're asking.
So it was the scene where
That was that machine, wasn't it? And the machine is basically asking, or Riker's been asked to relive the experiences that it had up until the point where he commits the crime that he's accused of, and his memories manifest themselves as characters from his memory, like Troy, Worf, and Picard.
Oh.
So it didn't ring a bell.
okay.
Having occurred elsewhere.
Boy, it rings a bell, and I've been racking my little brain and can't come up with it. So, listeners, if that rings a bell with any of you, let me know. Otherwise, maybe I am just going crazy. Which actually, another thing this episode reminded me of was Remember Me with Beverly, in her own little warp field universe. And where she
It was a bubble.
said,
It was a bubble.
that, she's like, no, I'm not going crazy. It's the universe that's wrong.
If there's nothing wrong with me, then there's something wrong with the universe.
Yeah.
That takes gumption to say
Yes,
that,
it
doesn't
does.
it? Yeah. I would just assume, okay, it's me.
Yeah, so would
Drank
I.
too much wine and my brain's been fried.
Too many
The
Star Trek
universe
cocktails.
is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and this episode, frame of mind really makes me think about that, because Riker, again, I think Jonathan Frakes is just brilliant in this. I just love it. And Riker's character, I mean, he really conveys that he doesn't know, is he crazy or is he not, and what's real and what's not. And him trying to sort through, all the different situations he's in and try and figure out what's the truth. Like in the one scene where Data and Worf come to rescue him, and he actually goes and stands with his captors, because he thinks it's just a delusion. Oh my gosh, I just thought it was brilliant. And how he finally figured out, what it was that anchored him to reality.
I think there's something comparing Dr. Crusher and Remember Me and Riker and Frame of Mind. I think, I know, they're very similar experiences that they have, aren't they? Crusher's stuck in a warp bubble and has to figure things out. Riker's attached to a machine that's trying to infiltrate his mind. Crusher does a better job of not giving in, doesn't she? She's
well,
like, no, there's something wrong with the universe.
Drugs. I mean, Riker's getting pumped full of drugs as well.
But you're stuck in a static warp bubble, which becomes your own little universe.
Yeah, but she still has her full mental faculties. Yeah, okay. Where Riker, he's like being drugged up. He's got immense pain.
Yeah.
Beverly wasn't in pain.
He totally gives in. Yeah, he totally gives in. Because he ignores Crusher in the rec room when she comes to visit him in the hospital. And then next thing you know, Worf and Data come to rescue him. And he was like, get out of here. I'm trying to get rid of these bad thoughts because this is where I belong, essentially. So they get, I suppose, the Talonians,
I think.
Yeah.
Talonian. Okay. The Talonians get closer to turning Riker than the warp bubble does to kind of making Crusher believe that she's going insane.
Well, see, and I think Frame of Mind is more realistic. That's kind of one thing with Remember Me, is that I don't exactly buy it. I mean, I think for me, I have to suspend disbelief a lot more with that episode than with this one.
Of course.
Because
it's sci-fi, isn't it?
And the nature of human memory, and funny, I was just listening to a lecture a couple days ago about this, about implanted memories. Human memory, and Riker's human, so I'll use that word. Memory is so pliable, and what we think and what we swear, this really happened, and it's so easy, not only for it to become twisted, but for someone else to come in and either plant false memories in you or twist your memories around, and you swear that this really happened, or that was, that really happened, and it didn't, because memories are so pliable. So I really bought how Riker, like Joe was just saying, he was ignoring Crusher in the little rec room. He ran away from Worf and Data. I mean, he really believed that he was a crazy person with delusions of starshiphood.
Which actually reminded me, because you had mentioned All Good Things and Far Beyond the Stars, where it's like Riker was being fed that this starship was just a story, just an illusion, just as Benny Hill was writing Deep Space Nine as a story, and that just, they sort of connected for me at that moment.
Yeah.
Was that his name in Benny Hill? Benny Hill in Deep Space Nine?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Was it Hill?
Okay.
Benny.
Yeah.
Because isn't Benny Hill the comedian from back in like the 40s?
Benny Russell.
Benny Russell.
Benny Russell, okay. Yeah.
Benny Hill's a British comedian.
We were forbidden to watch that show.
Really?
Yeah, it's a bit like the Carry On movies, the British Carry On movies. It's all very lewd comedy. Bit base comedy, but funny for the time. When were they made? The 1960s, 70s, I think. At that time, they're sexist. If you look at them with the 2020 monocle on, you think, very sexist, very misogynistic, but they're still kind of funny, because if you kind of reset your mind to thinking about that's just what it was like back then, and it's kind of that slapstick comedy. It's take it for what it is, I suppose.
We'll have to go more in depth on our Benny Hill episode. The Star Trek Tangents podcast. Here on the United Federation of Podcast Network. Oh, we should do it.
The United Federation of Tangents.
Yes. It'd be perfect.
Talking about tangents.
Uh-oh.
Is
Amy?
the only thing that we're doing here.
Yes, well, did Amy, you saw the circle I drew?
Yes.
So did
I was
Rhea.
pretty. Oh, sorry, Rhea, you saw it as well. Yes, listeners, if you didn't see it, with my advanced higher physics class, we had a little segue into circles, and we watched an American teacher who was the world champion circle drawer at one point.
Oh, wow.
Now, freehand circle. Basically, you have to draw a circle of diameter 1 meter as quickly as possible, just in one fluid action. And I thought, I can do that. So my 10 advanced higher students, and I'm like, I limber up like I'm in the Olympics, and I draw this pretty perfect freehand circle just with one action, which is kind of weird because you have to kind of bend your shoulder and just kind of move. Listeners, I'm replicating that action that I did, but it was epic. I did laps of the classroom afterwards because I was
Your
so impressed
victory
with
lap.
myself. Yes, exactly.
It was an impressive circle, Joe.
And it was large.
It was.
It
large.
was pretty much a meter diameter. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm really hoping this circle drawing world championship coincides with STLV,
Right?
so I can go and win a prize and see my friends.
There you go. Take us all out.
Rhea, listeners, Rhea has just spent time at her whiteboard drawing tiny circles, and they were less than perfect.
Oh, you could barely call them circles. You really can't
Yeah.
call them circles. They were. I won't quit my day job.
Yeah, they were irregular polygons.
They were circles in an alternate space-time reality
Yes.
where different.
Non-three-dimensional. Yeah, circles in non-three-dimensional space.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my fault. There were gravity waves coming through at the time, distorting my mark.
That's
So back to
so
frame
cool.
of mind. Since we've beat that tangent into the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the episode?
No. I am ready to vote.
I am as well.
Alrighty, let's vote. Amy, what is your vote?
Can I just say for the record that
No.
I've already decided how I'm going to vote.
You're voting
So I don't want
last,
to put-
Joe.
I know. Am I voting last?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'm happy to do that because I've decided.
Okay.
Cool.
I too have decided, and I would like to share if that's okay.
Yes, please.
No,
Mute Joe
this one was very difficult because, as you said, a Troy versus a Riker episode. But I really have to, in part because of the guest stars, have to go with Frame of Mind. That is the better episode. The psychological thriller of you never really knowing what is real. And we didn't really talk about it, but Riker tearing down the set,
Yeah.
so powerful, such a release. It just summarizes and concludes that episode brilliantly. Very healthy. It's just really, really good. So I am going with Frame of Mind, and don't hate me. I love Man of the People too, because it's a Troy episode and it's great. And they kill her, but then bring her back. Like, that's pretty awesome medical advancement, and there's lots to love. But yeah, I'm going with Frame of Mind.
Fair enough. And Troy played a part in Frame of Mind as well.
Yes. And she does a great job explaining to Riker again what the mind does to protect itself, and does great counseling.
Yes. Yes. Well, I am going to vote next because we are saving the Joe for last. And I'm also going to go with Frame of Mind for a lot of reasons. And actually, it's funny coming into this, my mind was made up. It was a piece of cake, easy, because I love Frame of Mind. But upon rewatching Man of the People and, paying attention and watching it more analytically, I got a lot more out of it. But Frame of Mind is just it's so good. It's so well written. It's such an awesome concept. I love how they executed it. And I just love kind of the dive into, Riker is a Starfleet commander. He's cream of the crop. and the way that he was able to figure out what was going on. I like putting myself in that situation and be like, oh my gosh, how would I know? What would my clues be? What was reality and what was some crazy fantasy? And Riker was able to pull it off in a way that, like I said before, I thought was more realistic than in Remember Me. And then when Riker wakes up and he's in that exam room, and he has the wherewithal just within a few moments to look around, kind of gather himself, get his bearings. He sees his communicator, rips the thing out of his head and go, I don't roll out of bed like that. And he comes out of this, crazy mind bleepery and was able to do that. Yeah, I vote frame of mind.
See, if the episode was like 90 minutes long and I was Riker, then the last 45 minutes would be me hitting the snooze button to get the energy to rip it off eventually. Yeah. Snooze, nap, get up, communicator, get me up.
It rips off as I sprint to the bathroom because yeah. So Joe, your vote's completely meaningless. What you got?
I am going to vote for conspiracy. No, I'm the same. I wasn't sure going into it, like today before I rewatched the episodes. I kind of both of them. Man of the People, I didn't altogether remember, and Frame of Mind, I remembered that I didn't understand anything about it. So I was kind of clueless about both of them, but I haven't watched them both today. It really is no contest. It's something we don't see a lot of in TNG, that kind of almost Alfred Hitchcock kind of storytelling way. So Frame of Mind it is for me. That the fact that somebody as super intelligent as me has taken a million years to figure out what the episode was about. It's got to be something good about it. So Frame of Mind.
Alrighty. 3-0, and we didn't even need you, Joe. So sorry, listeners, you had to put up with him for this. But
thank you, Rhea.
Awesome. So Frame of Mind survives to live another day or probably year by the time we get to round 2. And in round 2, Frame of Mind will face off against Gambit, which received a first round bye. And I believe it's Gambit 1 and 2.
Yeah, will be. Yep.
So
2-parters have been grouped up.
Yeah. So that'll be pretty exciting. In our next Batleth Battle episode, whenever that may be, we will have the Schizoid Man, which is Season 2, Episode 6, versus the Perfect Mate, which is Season 5, Episode 21.
That's going to be tough.
That's another one where right now I know who my winner is, but we know how well that turned out last Batleth Battle. So
To know him is to love him.
The Schizoid Man wins purely for that, doesn't it?
Right.
But then the deleted scenes.
And the guest star.
Yeah, exactly. From, what was the other episode called?
Perfect Mate.
Perfect Mate, yeah. That just
guest star
deleted
there too.
Scenes. Yeah, deleted scene from that we've spoken about previously on Galaxy Class, where Picard decides to take, what's her name, away?
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey, one of the X-Men away, and stop her from marrying this horrible, cantankerous old man. Kamala, thank you. Yeah, that kind of also wins it for me right now. That's a very tough call.
Well, stay tuned, listeners, because it sounds like we'll have to bust out the bat lefts for that one.
Incoming transmission.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's show and hope you'll join the Facebook group, Federation Council Chambers. You're also welcome to start conversations with us or add any general Star Trek info you want to share with the group.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can email the network at contact@ufp.earth, and we might read your email on the show.
Please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a star rating and written review. That helps others to find the show. You can also follow the entire network's podcast with our master feed by searching United Federation of Podcasts. This way you won't miss any of our fine shows like All Good Things, Franchise Fatigue, Always Hold On to Arrow, General Quarters, Mickey's Marvels, Infinite Diversity, and Trek Pod. So Amy, where can people find you when you're flooding yourself with the limelights of the stage?
Well, you can find me here on the network, where I voice to all good things. I am also having the opportunity to talk about Discovery over on the Fandom Podcast Network it's called Union Federation Podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson, and of course in the Federation Council chambers. And Rhea, where can you be found after you're tearing down the set that drove you crazy?
Well, after all that hard work, I'm going to be thirsty. So you will find me in 10 Forward. And in 10 Forward, I'll be on my pad responding to your comments and feedback in the Federation Council chambers. You can also send me an email at contact@ufp.earth, and I'll respond better than I do to my personal email or my work email. And Joe, where can people find you after you're done seducing young ensigns that you find in the turbolift?
I find that vaguely offensive. But yeah, do you know, I would, wouldn't I? Oh, kind of ashamed to say it, but totally. Given the look of some of those ensigns, yeah, you couldn't not. So when I'm not doing that, I would just be messaging them from my station on the bridge, wouldn't I? I'd be like, hey. So when I'm not doing that, you can get me on the Twitter at JoeyJoe77UK. You can also get me on the Federation Council Chambers, our listeners group on Facebook. And you can also email me, joepodcasts@gmail.com.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
If you'd like to help us keep all our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/UFPearth. That's patreon.com/UFPEARTH to get all the details. We have 4 different levels starting at just $1 or 76 pence UK, or whatever the currency is in Canada or Europe or wherever you're listening. There are online converters to convert $1 into your local currency. And we would appreciate any support you can give us.
We would like to recognize our executive producers, Brandon Shea Mutella, Ken Tripp, Zach Moore, and Tony Robinson. We'd also like to thank Zach Tripp for our opening and closing music, and Tony Robinson for our amazing artwork each and every week.
Thank you, listeners, for beaming aboard the Galaxy class. And until next time...
I'm not that far gone, am I? Of course you are.
Great joy and gratitude.
Looking back on the past few days, it's as though I'm looking at a holodeck projection of someone else. That's how it seemed to all of us. Thanks for sticking by me. I always will, even when you're old and gray. Like Joe. Stay classy, Galaxy.
Engage.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.
Rhea, can I make a comment that you have to edit out? See the pink and red thing behind you? It kind of looks like a penis. It looks like a giant phallus. That looks better. That looks better now. I like a square penis. That's good. Science is good. Science penis.
It's so cute, and the cat who's Deanna Troi is obviously my favorite, but the cat is so fluffy hair. Oh, it's a beautiful cat.
Well, it's funny because if you're going to have a cat for Deanna Troi, when I was a kid in Greece and Athens, you had cats, just wild cats, for lack of a better word, just everywhere.
Feral.
And my sister always loved them and would love to pet them, and we would tell her not to pet them. And one time she got ringworm because she pet the cats.
Oh,
really?
No.
Oh.
Moral of the story, don't pet cats.
Science penis.
It's so cute.